Coming up on Around San Diego, homeowners have started getting notices about the proposed trash fees, the one thing some are concerned about ahead. And the California Attorney General is sounding the alarm over conditions inside state immigration detention centers. Plus, San Diego's 9 reservoirs and lakes may see significant access restrictions soon. The reason why. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us as we take you around San Diego. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day, and I'll get you caught up on a week's worth of news, and we'll look ahead in less than 30 minutes. We do begin with that proposed trash fee. The city of San Diego has been sending out notices alerting property owners of public hearings about starting to charge for trash removal services, and that could go into effect as early as this summer. Some say the flyer makes it difficult to send back a written protest. CBS 8's Alex Cheney is working for you, digging into what you need to know.
You may have received a flyer like this in the mail. It's from the city about the new trash fee. It's 3 pages, front and back, and on the last page you can sign it, and it's a written protest so that you can trash the trash fee.
If you look at it, it looks like junk mail.
Dwayne Whitmire is a homeowner in Sorrento Mesa. He only noticed the trash flyer in his mail once a neighbor told him about it. He says it's not marked well enough and thinks the city is trying to get people to not respond.
By sending this flyer out saying, we're just going to charge you, and if you don't notice it, we're just going to give you a bill. And I think that's pretty clever of them to do that. I think it's sneaky. I think it's wrong.
Dwayne says he already pays for trash pickup in his property tax and says the city is trying to charge people twice for services they already receive.
I think they're double dipping. Our property taxes already indicate that there's already services there, and that's what it's been since it started.
California Prop 218 requires the city of San Diego to mail flyers to all affected people to impose a new fee. If a majority of property owners reject the fee, the city cannot enact it.
Basically, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And for heaven's sakes, don't fix it and then charge me for the fix.
One homeowner is urging recipients to send the written protest in. It must be signed with a name that is listed on your deed, whether that's your name or a trust. The protest must be mailed back in an envelope with a stamp you have to provide.
I would like to see every homeowner in San Diego fill out the form, get help from the city in terms of filling it out the way it should be filled out according to your home ownership, how your home ownership is labeled, and then get the form into the city in time so that we have more than 50% of homeowners voting against us.
The city of San Diego says the written protest can be mailed in or dropped off in person to the office of the city clerk. So be sure to look out for this in the mail. You have to send it back in on the same day as the public hearing on June 9th. Alex Cheney, CBS 8.
Alex, thanks. And right now, a new county grand jury report is calling for major changes to San Diego's public parking system. It cites the frustrations of finding and paying for parking. It points to, quote, a confusing array of rules, meters, apps, and signage, calling it a scavenger hunt for affordable parking, while also alleging a lack of transparency in how parking meter revenues are handled. Mayor Todd Gloria says the city is already working to take action.
I have a full comprehensive parking reform package going to the city council next month.
Okay.
So we are well aware of these shortcomings. We're taking aggressive action to fix them.
We do have the full grand jury report up on CBS8.com. And also right now, California Attorney General Rob Bonta is sounding the alarm over conditions inside immigration detention centers across the state. He was in San Diego this week where he discussed the findings of the State Justice Department's new report on 6 ICE detention facilities. All of them are privately run. The report found troubling lapses in mental health care, excessive use of force, and even retaliatory discipline for detainees who file complaints.
We found was alarming. Medical and mental health records contained significant inaccuracies that impacted care. Record keeping and maintenance and review of health care files at all 6 facilities were deficient. And without these records, providers aren't able to create and implement adequate treatment plans.
Yeah, so the concerns raised in the report come ahead of anticipated increases in immigration enforcement, of course, under the Trump administration. Well, more now on the new online dashboard giving South Bay residents real-time alerts related to the ongoing sewage crisis. The person who led the project says it's not showing data yet, but it soon will. The map will show real-time water quality, air pollution, and health alerts. The dashboard also includes smell complaint data and pollution measurements. There are also plans to expand the dashboard, which would then include animal health impacts and data on infectious diseases. Now, the former head of the Border Patrol sector of San Diego, who is now President Trump's pick to lead U.S. Customs and Border Protection, is facing tough questions. Rodney Scott, who is in Senate confirmation hearings now, is accused of trying to cover up the criminal probe into the death of an undocumented immigrant. Scott was in charge of San Diego's Border Patrol sector in 2010 when Border Patrol agents were captured on cell phone video beating and tasing 42-year-old Anastasio Hernandez Rojas as he was restrained, ultimately resulting in his death. In a pending case with the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, Scott is accused of covering up that investigation into Rojas's death.
Person who cannot recognize an abuse of power is not a person who should hold power. And that is Rodney Scott.
Now, we reached out to the CBP nominee and the Department of Homeland Security for comment, but have not yet received a response. Well, now I want you to know about a major disruption for train passengers heading north from San Diego County. Passengers on Amtrak's Pacific Surfliner will find their journey interrupted by a 6-week construction project as crews work on projects to stabilize sections of track threatened by landslides and coastal erosion.
Placement of large boulders referenced as riprap, and then eventually the removal of a pedestrian bridge, the Mariposa pedestrian path.
Yeah, so in the meantime, riders can board one of Amtrak's charter buses from Oceanside to Irvine, where they can continue their journey then by train. To better plan your trip during this closure, go to CBS8.com and click on the Help button. Well, San Diego's 9 reservoirs and lakes may see significant access restrictions under Mayor Todd Gloria's proposed budget as the city looks to close a $258 million deficit. Under the proposal, current 7-day operations at Lake Murray and Miramar could be reduced to just weekends. San Vicente and El Capitan could go from 5 days to 4, and Otay, Sutherland, Hodges, and Barrett would transition from 3 days to 2 for the months they operate throughout the year. Total potential savings would be about $622,000. San Diego reservoirs already underwent cuts in 2019, so Friends of San Diego Lakes warn that more cuts would hurt visitors and local businesses.
Trying to just combat already that restricted access. There are also businesses that rely on the boating and fishing community and its patrons.
Yeah, city spokesperson tells CBS 8 while some pedestrian access may remain under the proposal, parking, restrooms, and activities would be limited. The final budget decision has to be done by June 10th. Well, there is a growing memorial outside of Parkdale Lane Elementary School in Ensenus in honor of the 12-year-old student hit and killed while she was walking in a crosswalk this past week. According to the sheriff's office, 2 cars collided and then one of them hit the young girl named Emery as she was walking in the crosswalk. She attended classes at the Performing Arts Workshop across the street. There are 2 memorials at the site in her honor and about a mile away at that elementary school. We talked with Maria Morales and her 7-year-old daughter Victoria, who were there to pay their respects.
I can't stop thinking about it. As a mother, I can't imagine what the mom felt when she got that phone call.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the sheriff's office says neither drugs or alcohol appear to be involved in this crash. Both drivers remained there at the scene. Well, a Ramona woman accused of killing her wife, a CAL FIRE captain, remains in jail. Yolanda Moroi is being held without bail despite efforts in court. Yolanda is accused of killing Rebecca Moroi in February. An arrest warrant says Rebecca had recently told Yolanda that she was ending their marriage. It's unclear why Yolanda appeared in court in a wheelchair or why she was hospitalized after her arrest in Mexico, but she will be back in court in September. Well, we are learning federal funding for student mental health services in the La Mesa Spring Valley School District have been cut short. The Education Department is ending the grant 2 years early, ending this December instead of 2028. That means the district is set to lose $6 million of the original $11 million grant. That is funding the district says helps employ 30 mental health professionals who provide crucial services to students. Education officials told Congress the cuts are part of a plan to re-envision mental health program funding to align with current administration priorities. Well, coming up, the first dog ever trained for inside of a classroom by Guide Dogs of America works here in Oceanside. How this black lab is helping students. Well, the city of Carlsbad could allow some new drive-thrus. This week, the city council voted to keep the current ban, but will consider requests on a case-by-case basis. The city banned new restaurant drive-thrus in 1997 because of the impact of commercial development, including Legoland. Right now, there are only a dozen grandfathered locations in operation. Many people spoke out both for and against the ban. Businesses argue new drive-thrus would significantly boost city revenue, while opponents cite traffic congestion and pollution as concerns. And the California DMV says it is going to introduce a new license plate format next year because they're running out of character combinations. The current system contains a number followed by 3 letters and then 3 numbers. Well, the DMV says next year that current format will end with the combination 9ZZ999. The new format will begin with 3 numbers followed by 3 letters, then another number. The DMV predicts it should last more than a decade. Well, we know that dogs can provide friendship, a calming presence, and entertainment, but one black lab golden retriever mix in Oceanside is doing even more. I had the chance to go to Nichols Leadership Academy to see what Kinsey is doing there for students. Kinsey here is the first dog trained for the classroom by the organization Guide Dogs of America. She'll work with students who have special needs, and she has a famous sister.
Hey, you! Hey, you!
Hey, you! There's nothing like a newborn to remind you why it's great to be alive.
A sneak peek at Rosie O'Donnell's new documentary, Unleashing Hope, the power of service dogs for children with autism.
I put my hands on her ears and I said, we're gonna save my kid, you and me. You got it, doggy?
Rosie's daughter's guide dog is Kinsey's sister. She went through the same year-long training by inmates in prison. Now serves students with special needs at an elementary school in Oceanside.
Kinsey, so nice. Kinsey helped me get my work done.
Xavier Cole and the rest of his peers absolutely light up having her in the classroom.
I can get the whole class laughing. Jump on. Sit. Fist bump. Hug.
Aww.
Their special education teacher is also Kinsey's handler. Rachel Prentice understands disability herself, having cerebral palsy, so has seen what it's done for herself and her students.
Kids who aren't being successful in school because they don't feel they have people to connect with or belong, and watching that shift is really beautiful.
From being a good listener,
good, what's your name?
To providing a gentle nudge to stay focused or a welcome distraction, she even helps pick up and play and has become an incredible asset in the classroom.
Kinsey pick up my toys. She sweep a lot.
Kinsey knows more than 40 commands and goes to class every day to learn more.
She knows her way around campus, and I think she really does enjoy the job. It's a one-in-a-lifetime experience, and yeah, just the bond grows every day.
Reporting in Oceanside, Jenny Day, CBS 8. Yeah, I love getting to share positive news with you. Still ahead, the San Diego Bay is showing promising signs of improvement, and it's all thanks to what some may consider trash. We'll explain in an Earth 8 report. Welcome back. The San Diego Bay is showing promising signs of improvement, and it's all thanks to what some may consider trash. We first told you about so-called reef balls a few years ago, but CBS 8's Neda Iranpour shares the progress in the South Bay in this Earth 8 report.
These are reef balls, 360 of them in the San Diego Bay on the seafloor of the Chula Vista Wildlife Reserve, the former power plant site now home to all kinds of wildlife. And when you look closer, you'll see tiny critters taking up residence inside each one.
We are seeing native and other oysters and barnacles.
This is a project Eileen Maher is proud to share with CBS 8. She's the director of environmental conservation for the Port of San Diego.
You can see all the algae inside, and it holds water at low tide.
We first showed you these reef balls in 2021. They were installed in December that year, made of oyster shells that came from the Carlsbad Aqua Farm. They were smashed up and mixed in with concrete, which includes sand, and formed into these balls that scientists hope will attract tons of new and native oysters.
We brought them in hoping that the natural animals that are in the bay will attach and find a home, and that's what they've done.
Mission accomplished here. Each oyster can filter about 50 gallons of water per day. So when you see a lot of them, just know they're playing a huge role in cleaning the water. When the water's healthy, it draws in more sea life, including fish, which brings in the birds, like the endangered least tern. A few have already arrived for their summer migration to the South Bay and will be nesting soon.
We should point out this is not an area that's open to the public. It's a protected habitat. But we got access here because we want to show you this environmental success story. Also, these reef balls are only visible right now because it's low tide. During high tide, the water would be well over our heads. In fact, that right there is a water marker.
It's during low tide that a lot of animals come out.
A lot of times at low tide, you'll see a lot of birds like right at the shoreline. So they're probing into the sediment, looking for little things to eat, worms, clams.
And there are plenty around the reef balls. Scientists have even spotted octopus.
Habitat we hadn't planned on, but the more the merrier.
Turtles also call this area home.
We do have a resident population of about 60 to 80 sea turtles in San Diego Bay, and they spend about 95% of their time in South Bay.
And the eelgrass, major sequesterers of carbon, are also growing tall in the water right next to this new habitat.
Saw an osprey, which is a large predator. They're 6-foot wingspan. With a halibut, they like to eat fish, sitting on top of the reef ball, having lunch one day.
All of this being monitored for a total of 5 years. They hope their progress is proof that shells that otherwise would have been trashed can lead to environmental treasure.
The port considers themselves the environmental steward of the bay, and so we want to try to do projects like this as often as possible to make sure that the bay continues to increase for all the critters that call it home.
Eileen beaming with pride as she shows us all the positive growth of a project she hopes expands across the state. For CBS 8 in the South Bay, I'm Neda Iranpour.
That is sincerely such good news, Neda. Thank you. That will do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jenny Day for CBS 8. Take good care.